Puffins by Nathaniel Tran. What is a puffin? Puffins are small diving seabirds. During the breeding season, when puffins are near land, they can be identified by their large, brightly colored triangular beaks. However, they lose these colors during the winter. They nest in large colonies on seaside and island cliffs. Their scientific name, Alcidae retorcula, means little brother of the north. One might be inclined to believe that this name is comparing them to the larger penguins, which live in the south. However, puffins and penguins are not closely related at all, despite their similar appearances and diving habits. So instead, the name refers to the puffin's counter-shaded plumage. It looks like a friar's robes. The puffin has also been affectionately referred to as the sea clown or sea parrot for its brightly colored beak and endearing mannerisms. The common name for the puffin simply comes from the fact that the birds are puffy. Adaptations. The puffin has several adaptations for marine life. We can see this in its anatomy. It has webbed feet and waterproof feathers to help it swim and float on the water. It has jagged marks on the top jaw of its beak. This helps it to secure an entire beakful of fish. This is important because while puffins feed underwater, they have to carry back food for their young after a diving trip. Because puffins spend most of their time at sea, they need to filter out salt from the water they drink. Salt glands in the puffin's beak help with this. The puffin's countershading helps protect it from its many predators at sea. The light underside of the puffin will blend in with the sunlight from below. The dark back of a puffin will blend in with the sea from above. This is especially effective when puffins stop to rest on the surface of the water at night. We can also see behavioral adaptations. Puffins are migratory birds, and to survive at sea, because they don't really settle on land that often, they have developed exceptional diving and swimming skills. Their movement while diving almost looks like they're flying underwater. In this video, we see a puffin diving. Notice how it flaps its wings as if it were flying. Reproduction. Puffins are oviparous, meaning they lay eggs. They only lay a single egg per breeding season. The ornamental colors mentioned earlier help them to attract mates. Though puffins migrate together, they aren't very social until the breeding season. During the breeding season, however, they display a behavior called billing, in which they rub their beaks together. It's quite cute. It kind of looks like they're kissing. Puffins are monogamous, which is quite miraculous considering they don't really interact much during the migratory season. So scientists aren't sure how, but the puffin is able to find the same mate year after year. Puffins make their nests in burrows. For the breeding season, and a little bit after, they are completely invested in their young. However, after about 5 months, the chick is completely independent and may never interact with its parents again. Here, we see two puffins billing. There are 3 species of puffin. The first, and probably the most well-known, is the Atlantic puffin, or common puffin. During the breeding season, these birds can easily be identified by the steel blue triangle at the base of their beak. We can see this in the above picture. The below picture is what they look like in the non-breeding seasons. They can be found at sea throughout the Atlantic during the winters, and during other seasons of the year, they can be found in Newfoundland and Labrador, down to northeastern United States, as well as the coast of France, Russia, Greenland, and Iceland. Iceland is especially important for the Atlantic puffin, because around 60% of the population breeds there. We can see on the map shown, orange is where they breed, and blue is where they spend their winters. Next is the horned puffin. During its breeding season, the horned puffin can be identified by its mostly yellow bill with an orange tip. It can also be identified by the horny projections above its eyes. Unlike the Atlantic puffin, the horned puffin is found in the Pacific Ocean. It breeds along the coast from northwest Alaska to British Columbia and spends its winters off California. Horned puffins have also been seen off the northern coast of Asia. In this map, orange is where they breed, Blue is where they spend their winters, and purple is where they can be found year-round. Next is the tufted puffin. During the mating season, the tufted puffin can be identified by long, straw-colored feathers resembling tufts of hair. Also a Pacific Ocean bird, tufted puffins can be found breeding along the coast of northwestern Alaska down to central California. It spends its winters at sea throughout the North Pacific. It has also been seen along the northern coast of Asia. Conservation. The puffin is quite important to humans. It is a traditional staple food in places such as Iceland. Many tourists like to visit places to see puffins. For example, Lundy is an English island that got its name from the Old Norse word for puffin. In the past, it has minted puffin coins, which are now sought after by collectors. Scientists also use puffins as a bioindicator. By studying puffins, scientists can tell a lot about the marine environment. Much of this has to do with the factors that make puffins vulnerable. Of course, there's hunting by predators and by people. Hunting puffins is illegal in many places, such as the United States. However, the puffin continues to be a staple food in other countries, so hunting continues there. The puffins are also endangered by global warming. Warming waters cause fish to move away from shore. This means that puffins have to travel further to catch food for their young, expending unnecessary energy. They might struggle to make it back or catch as much fish. Pollution is also a danger. For example, puffins can end up eating plastics. And this doesn't just include large plastics, but microplastics that end up in fish. When waters are polluted, higher concentrations of pollutants can be found further up the food chain in a process called biomagnification. So it's important to be mindful and proactive about the conservation of these amazing birds. Try to do things like reusing plastic containers. Even if your individual actions might not seem like much, they do make a difference.